November, definitely a month of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hello again. This is just a quick look at what's been sown and grown in November in the garden. So these are the strawberry runners, 24 of them there in 3-inch pots. They're sort of in a holding pattern until I can find somewhere to put them or give them away. And you'll see as the video goes on, I've got some more still on Strawberry Hill. These are the sweet pea. 3 of them. This guy here developed a strange discoloration at the bottom of the stem, so I removed them, and the other 3 died back, and that concerned me. I don't know if I overwatered them or whatever, but the others seem to be doing okay. One of the things, the trays that they're sitting in, I watered from the bottom, and I may have left them sitting too long in the water, which may be what happened to the one with the discoloured stem. I'm not sure. I suffocated the roots. But you can see that all the others here are doing quite well. The only thing I've noticed now is the roots are actually pushing their way out of the bottom of the pots. So, well, it's all a learning process. I'm just wondering if I started them off a little bit too early now, and I would have been better off maybe starting them this time. Okay, here's our sweet potato, and you can see what a disaster it is. Because I wasn't able to get down to the allotment this year, I grew the sweet potatoes in containers, and it was an absolute disaster. Now, I've seen some of your videos where you've had great success growing the sweet potatoes in containers, and I tried to emulate that, but I didn't do such a good job. We got very, very little. In fact, we never got a properly formed sweet potato. Not one. All the tiny little swollen roots that we got, we just ended up using in soups. So that's the final container that I've left it too long. I mean, they're probably going to be destroyed with slugs and snails and everything else. I just didn't bother harvesting them because of how bad the other 5 containers were. But anyhow, lesson learned. I might try and grow some sweet potato next year in another 35 or 50 litre container, just to try and improve on that, because there's no reason why I shouldn't have been able to grow them. I didn't overcrowd the pot. I think there was only 2 sweet potatoes put in there, so it's not overcrowding. I don't know what went wrong. Anyhow, the sweet potatoes were a complete and total disaster, and at the end of the video you'll see what these guys look like, because I'll harvest these and put them at the end of the video. So moving on, we have the chili plants that I'm overwintering in this little plastic greenhouse. I've put some of that fleece over them to keep them a little bit warmer, and you can see they're still alive. I'm not sure how well they're doing. I've never done this before, but all 4 plants are still alive, and it looks like there might be some new growth there on the stems that I've cut right back. So I'm hopeful still at this stage, although we've not had any viciously cold nights yet, so time will tell. But they seem to be doing okay in that tiny little plastic with the fleece over them. The only issue that I noticed when I was checking on water levels was they were covered in greenfly. You can see here, I mean, there was lots. I spotted 1 or 2 and I thought, oh, that's not too bad. A few little aphids. But when I looked closely at the plants, now I left that spider there. I tried very hard not to disturb him, because he's obviously doing a good job as a natural predator to the flies. But actually, I don't know if he would catch them or not. But anyhow, I've left him be. I like seeing spiders and things. But yeah, not good at all. So the solution that I came up with was to use a natural washing up liquid in water, and I just blasted the plants with it, and seems to have worked. I got rid of all of the greenfly. A few spinach there. They're being fed to the tortoise. There's the strawberry plants that I put around the rhubarb, and you can see the rhubarb is finished now for this year. So the cats have pretty much flattened those strawberry plants. That's the spinach that's self-seeded in the paving, Mr. King spinach. I'm going to leave him there, see what he does. Strawberries are doing okay. They're the 2 strawberry beds I made earlier, except I noticed one of them has a flower on it. I suppose I should pick that flower off. Really, it seems to be very confused. But yeah, they're doing absolutely fine, the two strawberry beds, so looking forward to a good crop of strawberries next year. Now this is where I had the containers for the salad stuff this year and I've converted this now into what will be a pretty permanent flower bed, and you can see here lots of evidence of earthworms doing their thing, which is a really good sign, if I could focus properly. These are some of the containers I've still got bits grown on. Now Nigel gave a great tip in one of his last videos about cutting the heads off the carrots, and as you can see I haven't done it yet, but they'll be harvested for Christmas and hopefully they'll be okay. I've got some lettuce and spinach coming to an end that were planted late, but really and truly the tortoise is getting all that now. I've got bulbs grown in those pots and some rosemary and lemon thyme there, and at the back I've cut right back the two blackberry bushes. One did really well, one not so well. Lettuce coming, it's not lettuce we'd want to eat, but the tortoise loves it, so that's fine. And I've got a tray of fresher lettuce there, which we'll be picking up. The buddleia I've removed. The buddleia were growing there, so they're now temporarily in Strawberry Hill till I can get them down to the allotment next year. And that bed where they were, that's going to be all tulips and daffodils. The little pots was where all the marigolds were grown, so I'll put more marigolds back there next year. The remainder of the strawberries on Strawberry Hill, all this dirt will be sifted now and bagged up and reused. It'll be reinvigorated. Some more strawberry runners there. They're ready to be given to somebody as a little gift. Some spring onions that I've turning into onions. Spinach that Miss Sprinkles planted out. And this is a rose, little welcome home present for my youngest daughter. And I need to do something with this now. But the encouraging thing is, I haven't transplanted it out yet. I don't know what I'm doing with roses, so I'll need to look this up or get some of your tips and tricks, which I'd be grateful for. But it's showing new growth, which is a good sign. So this is going to live in a container, not in the garden, because it may be that at some point she'll take this to Dorset with her. So any tips or tricks on container gardening or growing a rose in container would be great. Spinach that Miss Sprinkles planted, so I'm going to plant them under a cloche, warm things up a little bit and see how they get on. If we don't eat them, Timmy will. And moving indoors, I've planted some herbs and flowers. These are Antirrhinum or snapdragons. Thought I'd have a go at growing some herbs, so I've got most of the stuff I've never heard of. Russian tarragon, peppermint, Greek oregano, 2 types of parsley, sweet marjoram and spearmint. And I don't think that's a spearmint that's come up there. I think that's because I use reconditioned compost in these pots. I think that might be a seed of something else. And lots of basil coming on. I've got the Italian classic basil and some red leaf basil. These will be transplanted into their own pots. I decided I'd have a go at sowing some bluebells. I've no idea why. I found the packet of bluebell seeds and thought, oh yeah, let me start them indoors. Again, I think I may have just started them way too early, but they seem to be coming on. Some of the red leaf basil there. Some imperial winter lettuce, and I don't know what that is beside it because I've misplaced the label. I thought it was some sort of lettuce, but I've not seen lettuce leaf like that, so I'm wondering if I've got one of the mints mixed up. I'm not sure. And the purslane there. Now this has hardly germinated, and last year I tried to grow purslane and I didn't get any of it to grow. So lettuce is so simple to grow. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with the purslane, but that's some of the winter imperial separated out into its own little tray, and that's whatever that is. It's either a type of lettuce or I've got the seeds mixed up and it's some sort of mint or spearmint. But they're going to sit in the greenhouse for now. They'll get more light and they won't dry out so quickly. These are some carrots. I can't remember when they were sown, but they were sown very late. But I've just left them in the pot in the greenhouse to see what happens. And now the horror show. I've harvested the sweet potatoes that you saw at the start of this video, and this is what they look like. Obviously, lots of evidence of slug activity. Really just inedible. I mean, this may have a lot to do with the fact I've left them so long to harvest them anyhow, but as I said, the sweet potatoes in containers was an absolute disaster for me this year, so I'll grow one more lot in next year in containers and see if I can improve on that. But I thought I'd end with the horror show, and that's what's basically sowing and growing in what I've been sowing and growing in the garden in November. Okay, as always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.